Is it morning? Good morning. It is either what you want to call late Sunday night or early Monday morning, but depending on where you're at, I guess, right? Time goes by so fast. And I get so little accomplished. But anyway, I would not be up right now, but I have cats, as I have mentioned, and they're pretty nocturnal. One of them was just bouncing off of me. And so finally, I just gave up and said, okay, you win. What do you want to eat? Tell me, do you want the dry food or do you want the moist food? Then he decided that he wanted the fake crab meat that I had been eating. Um, Only, I guess it looked better and smelled better than it actually tastes because he decided he didn't really want it. What he actually wanted to do was for me to turn on the sink and let him drink out of the sink and stand there until he was done drinking and then turn it off. That was what I was intended to do, and so I did. Hey, and people say, why do you put up with that? Well, if the cat can't decide if it wants to drink or if it wants to eat or whatever, it's just, it must be related to me in some way, right? It can't make up its mind. But so I'm awake now, and I'm afraid to go out there. And Jim's, I think he might be awake as well. But as soon as he puts his eyes on me, oh, there's something outside going on. And you wonder why I have so much anxiety. It sounded like something actually in the little shed we have right outside the door. Okay. All this unintentionally ties in because I was really going to talk about what I was watching, which is Graveyard Shift with Dalen Spratt going in the graveyards and talking on the little spirit boxes. I was going to talk about that because it was just near and dear to my mind. But all this other stuff is like going on now too. But back to my husband, if he sees me and he is awake, he'll say, "Where's my coffee?" And I just don't quite want to get it yet. And before 4 a.m., is that even a time to be thinking about coffee yet? Okay, I'm thinking it's either raccoons out there or more stray cats. But anyway, I have asked these questions before of Dalen going into the graveyards with the little spirit box. He has shown it was real by asking how many fingers am I holding up, and you'd get many of them would answer the correct answer. And then some of them would answer different numbers, like 10, just to be so, just like how if you had a room full of people, how you would get random people to answer silly, because they are pretty much anonymous, which makes me wonder about that spirit box. If you're relying on the answers that you're getting from it, if it is indeed spirits, how many spirits are just like they were in life? Some of them honest, some of them not so honest, some of them like to play pranks, and you just never know quite what spirit you're really getting. And maybe you're not even getting a spirit that was actually alive and in the flesh at one time. If you believe in fairies, goblins, spirit guides, demons, angels, couldn't you get something else to intervene on that? And if you're a real skeptic, I had one. I got a spirit box one time. Obviously, it's not the sophisticated kind that he can afford. It looked to me, it probably was closer than you want to admit, like a little transistor radio. Only it had a feature that transistor radios didn't have in the day. It had like you can put it on your AM or your FM. This one also had AM or FM, only it slid down through the channels, just pausing briefly, which is how you got your words. And the critics and skeptics say that the spirit box is nothing more than the transistor radio going from one channel to the next, and if it picks up coherent words, it picks up coherent words. But he has proven, unless Dalen's just all playing all of us and it's rigged some way that we don't know about, it seems pretty spontaneous and real, honestly. It seems very real. But if it is a radio, transistor radio, just picking up words, sometimes it is incredibly accurate. That's all I will say. But, I've talked to people about this show before and what they thought, because it would seem like if he could reach actual spirits with it, assuming they were once in the flesh, if they were the intended party of the actual gravestone, if you pass and you can go anywhere and you're free of your sick, downtrodden, beaten up body by the time you leave this earth, many times our bodies are very, very sick. Do you really want to hang out at its resting place when you could fly anywhere and see anything in this vast amount of, not just this planet, but all the vast amount of the universe, anywhere you wanted to go? Why would you hang around your broken body? Unless psychically you have already known that Dalen was going to come out with a spirit box and all of these other spirits are gathering around to throw in a few words, which I could see happening. People rally together to maybe get a few words to the words of the living to make them hear it. But then again, it's so random. You're not really speaking to anyone but Dalen usually. But if it were, for instance, Marilyn Monroe and she had a story to tell, because he has been to Marilyn's grave, it would seem like if she had something to say, if there's something sinister about the way that she passed, if she did not indeed take her own life, yeah, you'd think she'd want to clear that up. But wouldn't she have cleared that up already with some other medium or before that time? I don't know. It makes for good content, doesn't it? It leaves you with more questions than answers in the best way that I could sum it up. Because it definitely, if you are a spirit and you can hang out here on the earth, if the Lord, God, or whoever you call your Savior is allowing you to hang out here, that means you don't go to the pearly gates or the fiery furnace. You have your choice. You did not go to one of those. You decided to hang out on the earth. But what he has alluded to is there's some that are not sure where they're going to go because they haven't had the life review. So what they do is hang on the earth to avoid going to down, low, or up top, which I guess is yet another choice that you have with your free will. Okay, why leave it all, right? Other than it'd be kind of boring and depressing. But, hey, if you ask me, if you watch the news at all, it is kind of boring and depressing most days, isn't it? The people that are doing the news are like content creators. I equal them to that because it may be a slow news day, but they can put all kinds of spin on something. Spin much like content creators on YouTube have to do to get people to watch. Only I'm beginning to think that many of the news channels are bought and sold by one party or the other, and I'm thinking maybe just one party predominantly. So they kind of got to say what they got to say too. So, that leaves you with even less free will than you'd have, I guess, if you were in the spirit world, which is good. But I have had people say, because I'm all over the planet with this topic, that they wanted to be a poltergeist. And I'd say, well, what would you want to do if you were a poltergeist? Well, I want to change my neighbor's TV. Did you know that there's a hacker tool that you can do that right now? I only knew it because I was entertaining getting one. You get these people that pee you off in the real live world, and especially if they're a little superstitious. Anyway, or if you just want to be ornery, you wait until the Chiefs game. There is a hacker tool, and I'm not going to share with you what it is. Maybe you can contact me privately if you want to know. There's a hacker tool. It's not too terribly expensive. You just got to get on those Chinese websites. But you can change your neighbor's channel on their TV. You so can. And you can do other stuff too. You can make that garage go flapping up in the breeze too all of a sudden. Okay. I have an extremely curious mind and a lot of time on my hands to find out things. I do not own one yet. But I'd always thought, you know, you've got that one paranoid friend that's been harassing you, or maybe that one guy that's been harassing you for a few years, and you think, huh, I wonder what mayhem I could do while I'm still here in the flesh. Oh yeah, more than you think. Uh, and do I trust anybody? No, probably not, because I do know what's out there. But anyway, let's just go back to Dalen here. He's such a good entertainer. He could be a stand-up comedian, I think. I think that's why a lot of people tune in, quite honestly. He was with the Ghost Brothers before. But his kind, sweet personality and often random comment make it entertaining. I don't know if he's reaching the spirits that he wants to reach, or how many of them are in a room at one time. So if you go back to like one of these plantations, because he travels all over the United States to do the ghost box thing, assuming that they've told him ahead of time so he can have privacy to do that. Don't spirit evolve? Maybe they were really negative and crappy people in life. Isn't there anything motivating them to be better after they pass? Assuming they're not automatically going to the hot spot or the heavenly spot, isn't there any motivation if they're hanging around the earth to be better than they were in life? I have more questions than I have answers, but I love the show. If you guys get a chance, take a look at it and let me know what you think. If you want, I always put my email and a phone number, and it's usually not the phone number that I generally answer, because I have learned from the past. I'm a slow learner too, and not always very logical. If you leave your real number, you might get. What I don't get is this like regular people wanting to talk. Occasionally I do, and I love that. But many times my name and information get sold to every spam scam out there. And that I can live a long time without. I'll tell you what though, I'm not gonna buy anything. Don't waste your time. And if you get Jim, you'll regret it. You better muffle your sensitive little ears before you do, because he will tear into you. Most of the time, because he can't hear that well, he screams everything he says anyway, which makes it kind of difficult for us to go very many places, honestly. And he and I, we don't agree on many of the same things. He actually tried to watch a movie with me today, but if you don't have the captions that he can read, he's not going to wear a hearing aid. But if there's no captions for him to read, he isn't going to bother with it. And he only likes zombies and AI violence, sci-fi stuff. And I have to really shield myself from that, you know. That the violence with the AI is so realistically horrible. It kind of hangs on my head, even if I want to do what I normally do with stuff I don't like, you know, stuff that's negative, cancel. It's hard to cancel when your eyes have already seen it. So anyway, I don't think I made any sense on this video at all, but mainly I'm just trying to keep making content for a channel that I will eventually have longer reaction videos on, or something like that. Eventually I will, but right now I'm still just thinking about it.